Hello! Let's talk about webcomic sites. For a lot of artists, both hobby and professional, making a comic is something that a lot of us want to do. And when we finally commit to it, we want to do it well, and we want to use the resources that best enable us to realise these stories in the way that we imagine. There are lots of reasons for wanting to make them. It might be your job, you might want to use it for drawing practice, or you just want to get that idea that's been stuck in your head for months onto paper. But when it comes to publishing these comics online, which platform is better for that? I'm going to be taking a look at the two most popular free webcomic hosting sites, TAPAS and WEBTOON. I'm going to be giving my personal thoughts and opinions on both, going over the positives and negatives of each, and hopefully giving those of you watching a clearer understanding of which site they prefer using, and how to use them effectively. Please note that this is entirely within the perspective of a small creator on these platforms. I don't have much knowledge on how originals on either site operate and can only comment on them from an outsider's perspective. A short note before we begin, the day that I was going to upload this video, on that same morning, WEBTOON suddenly rolled out a scheduling feature that it didn't have before. I've done my best to edit the script with that in mind, but if you notice that anything is a bit short or abrupt, that's the reason why. Alright, let's begin. Let's start with the older of the two, WEBTOON. As a preface before we start, WEBTOON actually just refers to any long scrolling comic. The official name of the site is Line WEBTOON. Line WEBTOON was created in 2004 by Jungkook Kim. It was around this time that manhwa, the general term in Korean for print comics, were experiencing a decline in popularity. Jungkook, a fan of Japanese manga and South Korean superhero comics, wanted a website that could help bolster the creation of such material that he liked so much. So, he created a website that utilised the scrolling format that's popular in webcomics today, because he theorised that people using the internet were used to scrolling on websites already. He struggled to initially get artists on board with this new format, but manhwa artists gave it a shot as a way to reinvent the struggling industry. In 2014, Line WEBTOON launched globally, allowing international artists to become part of the site, and its popularity exploded. As of July 2019, Line WEBTOON receives over 100 billion views annually. If you're looking to upload your first comic to Line WEBTOON, if it's just for a hobby or if it's your first attempt at a comic, then you'll want to do it through Canvas. Canvas, or Discover as it was originally called, is WEBTOON's equivalent of a free online platform for independent artists to upload their comics. It has all of the tools that you would expect, and it's pretty easy to get started. All you have to do is click publish and then create series. The uploading page and dashboard are very clean and easy to understand, and from the dashboard you can view stuff like your overall series, as well as your comic's average views per month. Now, because WEBTOON has been around for 16 years by this time, this has given it the chance to garner a very big user base. As we mentioned before, WEBTOON gets 100 billion views per year, and this is also good for your series. There'll be a lot of eyes open for new content literally every second, and this means there's a potential to grow an audience very quickly. I joined the website in early October of this year, and as of 8th of November, I have 64 subscribers. That doesn't seem a lot, but for someone who, for example, is making their very first comic or is nervous about uploading, this can be really good for the artist's confidence and motivation. Another good thing about Canvas is that it allows creators to link a Patreon account directly to the comic, which, if you're unable to secure a deal for a WEBTOON original, means that you'll still be able to make some coin on the website. This, coupled with WEBTOON's high user base, means that there's a decent chance to not only get your comic noticed, but also to monetize it if you want to. Now, onto the not so great points. WEBTOON only allows certain files to be uploaded, and they also allow for a smaller resolution than TAPAS. Not only this, but the allowed file size basically forces creators to cut up the comics themselves into pretty small chunks before uploading, which defeats the purpose of the long scroll format in my opinion. Though there is an application outside of the website that does this automatically for you. I have my own hobby comic called Synthesis, which is just under 3 years old now, and the limited file type is what actually stopped me from using Canvas initially. Some of the panels in my comic are animated and therefore require a GIF file, so when I decided to upload to WEBTOON, all pages had to be resized and reformatted to fit the requirements. This on its own wouldn't be so bad, but to rub salt into the wound, WEBTOON originals are allowed additional file types and leniencies compared to Canvas comics, which can be a bit of a kick to the face for small creators on some occasions. And for an especially important lacking feature, there is no notification button, no bell, and no separate page to view likes, comments, or subscriptions. If you want to view these things on a Canvas comic, you have to comb through every page like a regular reader. This is very bizarre to me as a creator, as this is what a lot of creators watch out for when they post content online. They want to know when someone likes their stuff or subscribes to their series. They want to be able to say thank you to a nice comment shortly after it's been posted and not lose track of it. I can't for the life of me understand why this is the case for a site with such a large user base. Hopefully it's something they're working on, because I can't imagine that no one has brought this issue up with them, but I suppose that's not our call to make. In any case, let's move on to our other website, TAPAS. TAPAS, originally known as Comic Panda, was created in 2012 by Chang Kim, a South Korean entrepreneur who referred to the site as the YouTube of comics and the Candy Crush of books. This term comes from the act of breaking up novels on the site into micro chapters for easier digestibility. The key difference between TAPAS and WEBTOON is that TAPAS also allows novels to be uploaded to the site, giving creators another format to work with should they find that comics aren't their thing. The layout of the site, as well as the way you upload comics on TAPAS, is very similar to Canvas. Again, just click publish and select new series. Now, I don't know if all the features are the same for uploading a novel, but I don't imagine there are too many differences, if any. On TAPAS, you can upload GIF files, are allowed larger file sizes, as well as link music directly from SoundCloud for each page. This is good for if you have a sound effect that would really work well with a GIF. It's these small things that utilize the internet's capabilities that can really help elevate a reader's experience. Now for the negatives. TAPAS has far less traffic than WEBTOON, and that's quite a big detriment. Looking at some traffic monitoring sites, TAPAS has around 5 times less views than WEBTOON. I've been uploading on TAPAS since January 2018, and I only have 88 subscribers. Even though they're small numbers, comparing that to 64 on Canvas in little over a month really echoes that statement. TAPAS might have more fancy features, but that doesn't mean much if not many people are using them. Another thing is the ink system. Line WEBTOON has their own version of this, which is coins, but I personally don't find it as annoying or confusing as TAPAS' way of doing it. This might be a bit more of a nitpicky point on my end, but basically, TAPAS originals will have pages that are locked permanently behind ink paywalls, whereas on WEBTOON this feature works more for just early access. In some ways it's good, because certain series will have pages that contain mature content, so having them behind paywalls can help minimise the risk of exposing such content to minors, for example, while still allowing them to enjoy the story. But a good number of series have just locked episodes because they can. I'm assuming this is to make up for the lack of a Patreon feature by having their own version exclusive paid content, but you can still have the option to link your Patreon on your creator wall, so I can't say I understand the reasoning too well. Plus, it gives me the concern that I might miss out on stuff that could pop up later in the story. If you're a creator who manages to create an original and decides to go in this route, I would be wary of what you decide to lock away from non-paying readers, as it could deter some of them from even reading at all. When I found out about WEBTOON's scheduling feature, it said that they're also apparently implementing this, so it'll be interesting to see how this is handled on both sites. But back to TAPAS. Speaking of money, another issue is monetization. In order to monetize your series on TAPAS, you have to reach 100 subscribers in a single series to be allowed to display your own ads on the site. Then and only then will you be able to earn money on TAPAS, and it isn't very much. TAPAS boasts that some creators make as much as $800 a month on the platform, but a few creators have expressed that they only make around 10 to 14 cents in their first month of gaining ad revenue. So, let's recap. If you want to get a comic out there and have it build up views and subscribers a bit quicker, then Canvas is the way to go. The website has a large user base that can help you grow your audience in a short time, and not only that, it also allows you to link up your Patreon to help make it a bit more worthwhile. The downside is that no notifications means you can't monitor how well your series is doing without constantly reading through it and taking up more of your time. Not only that, some features aren't initially available to Canvas creators as they are to more established comics, and this can sometimes make it feel unfair. It would be nice if more features were rolled out soon, such as with the scheduling feature, but I digress. And if you don't mind as much about subscriptions or views, and want to tell your story in a more interactive and engaging way, I would recommend TAPAS. Between allowing GIFs, music, and having a notification bell, TAPAS is much more user-friendly towards its creators, and allows them to be more creative in their way of doing things. And if your comic does especially well, you still have the option to monetize it through ad revenue. The problem, however, is the lack of site traffic, which means it'll take longer to get your comic to the level of popularity that you may want, and even longer to make a substantial profit. With these points in mind, even if you have a preference, it's not a bad idea to upload on both and promote them equally on your social media if possible. This can give you the chance to both expand your reach and offer your readers a unique experience on each site, so you may even be better off for it. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video gave you a bit more of a perspective on these two sites. Please comment down below which site you prefer and why. Whichever one you prefer, the important thing is that you have fun doing what you do. Comics are often a passion project, and you want to have the same amount of joy creating them as any of your readers. Please leave a like and subscribe, stay safe, and take care everyone. Bye!